Everyone's posting 5 to 20 times a day or thinking about doing it to beat the algorithm. What is this phenomenon spiritually? It's prosperity gospel with different metrics. Instead of God wants you to be wealthy, it is the algorithm wants you to be consistent. And look, I get the upside. You care less about perfect lighting, perfect articulation, you're just creating. And that is actually beautiful, but there's something darker happening here. You see it too. Feeding the algorithm actually works. People are growing. But when you see these, let's post 20 times a day, where do you feel it in your body? I feel it in my shoulders, I feel it in my chest. This tightness of maybe I'm not doing enough. That sensation in your body, that's not inspiration, that's fear. Walter Brueggemann calls this the Pharaoh's production economy. It's a system that says that your worth equals your output. Remember Egypt when the Israelites were enslaved to endless brick quotas? Make more bricks, go faster, no resting. And here's the insidious thing. Pharaoh's system works. Egypt was powerful, wealthy, efficient. The slaves could see the pyramids getting built, just like we can see the follower counts going up. So it is seductive. But what's God's first act of liberation? It wasn't to give them the promised land. It was giving them the Sabbath. Against the system that says you have to produce something to have value, rest isn't recovery, rest is rebellion. And yes, it felt risky. Here's what happens when you adhere to that schedule. You start seeing your own life as content. You're at dinner with your friends and you're thinking about filming it or thinking about how you're not filming it. You have a breakdown and part of you is calculating how much engagement the vulnerability post might get. When did we stop living experiences and started to harvest them? And look, I'm not saying posting 20 times a day is wrong. Maybe you do have 20 different things to say. But here's what I'm wondering. What happens to your soul when you literally cannot post for a day? When the idea of going offline gives you anxiety? The Sabbath wasn't just about rest. It proves that you can stop, that you aren't enslaved to your own productivity. If posting 20 times a day and not posting doesn't cause you any anxiety, ignore me. But if it does, then are you running a content strategy or are you being run by one? It's not about the posting itself. It's about what you worship. And anything that you can't stop doing owns you. Here's what we don't talk about very often. Jesus frequently took breaks. At the height of his popularity, he disappears. I would think his disciples were probably anxious. Everyone's looking for you. The crowds are growing. This is our moment. But Jesus understood something, that God's economy runs on something deeper than constant output. He knew when to engage and when to withdraw. And no, we're not all Jesus. I don't have this figured out either. I feel that same anxiety seeing these posts. And maybe that feeling is telling us something. What if the most radical thing you can do isn't to post more or to post less, but to prove to yourself that you can choose and feel neutral or even content about your decision? Because the algorithm wants what the algorithm wants. And you, believe it or not, have freedom. So the question is, who do you want to serve? You or the algorithm?